Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking us out again. Today we're picking up our axles. We are at Wheats Off-Road and we dropped them off a few weeks ago. They got the new gears in, got the ARB lockers in, and now it's time to get them home and finally start working on them and get them put back in the Jeep. All right, we made it back to the house, got the axles in the back. Let's get these things out of here and we'll go over what we did and a couple other things we should have changed. All right, so this is the rear, and you can see that if you're looking at the back, they've put the airline for the ARB locker at about 10 o'clock. And then the vent tube used to be on the axle, or yeah, the vent line was on the axle tube. I forget which side, but it's over here. It's about 2 o'clock, 2:30. And then they've drilled holes to get access to that and also access to the airline. The thing is, I had already welded on the truss when I dropped off the axles. And so what they had to do was cut the truss off and then tap those holes, drill and tap those holes for the vent and the airline and put that on. So that was one thing that I would have changed. The other thing is on the front axle, the Dana 60, got a thick cut gear, which would be fine if you're not running lockers, or at least specifically the ARB locker, you need a thin cut gear. And so I did that wrong. So now I have a set of front gears for a Dana 60 that I'm not using. So those two things, a mistake on my part, but nevertheless, here they are. So let's get these things out of here. So those were the axles. We got those home and unloaded, and now we're at For Fox's Sake Off-Road. You guys saw the title, the thumbnail, you know what's next. Let's go check out the ORIs. All right, I'm here with Sean Fox. He's the owner of For Fox's Sake Off-Road. Sean, pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for helping me out on the project here.
I'm excited.
Tell me kind of how you got started and what it was like going from off-road enthusiast to shop owner.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a heck of a transition for us. So I started off in Jeeps, the Jeep scene, Jeep clubs. That's all the things that I did. I love Jeeps, so that's how I started on it. And I wanted to do all this cool stuff that I was reading on the forums. That was, before Facebook and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to do all the cool things, but didn't have the money to do it. So learned how to do it myself and started doing it, and then started helping my friends, and then started helping their friends, and then started helping their friends' friends, and thought, maybe I'll start at the house, a little side gig. That was April of 2020, which was the worst time in the world to try to start a business. But
tough time to do anything.
But it actually ended up being pretty cool because everyone was stuck, doing, social distancing and all those sorts of things, but you could still Jeep. So it actually helped explode the business to begin with. So that was pretty cool. I was doing it at the 700 square foot garage at home, just going through it, doing things on the side. And then after a couple of years of doing it on the side, then went full time with it, quit my job and decided I'd play with Jeeps forever. And then I hired a guy and another guy, and now we got 6 guys, and now we've got 6,000 square feet and 3 lifts and all kinds of crazy stuff. And we're chopping up brand new JLs and putting ORIs on it. So yeah, that's a far cry from not being able to, pay somebody else to do it to learn, to now getting to do all kinds of cool, fun stuff. So
it sounds like it was kind of a slow snowball, but just growing into the business. And like you said, now you've got something like this to where you can do it all the time, and you get to come to work and do something that you're passionate about.
Which is awesome.
Well, I know I'm excited to go see the Jeep. Yeah. Let's go out to the shop, check it out, and we can talk about what you did.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right. All right, so I brought the ORIs to you.
Yep.
And I brought you the towers from Motobuilt that they designed around the ORIs.
Yeah.
And I asked you to do something a little different and put these on stock axles.
Yeah.
So beyond the lower end where they're attached to the axles, for the people that are looking to do this at home, what kind of hiccups or problems did you run into that you might not see on the instructions?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing is the instructions and the where they show putting everything on kind of assumes that you've got longer than stock control arms. So that pushes the axle forward a little bit, so the positioning is a lot easier and better so that you can get the right kind of angle on it. But we made it work. They're on there. It's going to be okay. You'll be able to drive it home. Everything's fine. I know your plan is wontons and everything else anyway, so hopefully that's not a spoiler alert, but whatever else. So that was the biggest thing, was just getting everything in a way to where it would work right now with a stock suspension and still work down the line when you wanted to upgrade. we had to kind of do it, and you can see the angle of everything. You just can't go any further forward, otherwise it's going to lift the Jeep 30,000 feet up in the air. So, which would be cool if you wanted to run 72s or whatever. What are the Mickey Thompsons, the gigantic tires that Gridlock runs?
54s or something like that.
I think that's perfectly reasonable on stock axles. 54 is the world.
Sure.
So.
Right.
But that was the big thing. And the other big thing that we ran into was actually with the Motobilt tank in the back, was trying to make sure, because you cut off the stock things and it leans back, but everything gets right in the way of where Motobilt has you running that fill tube. So we had to go in and trim it out and move some things around, but it ended up super awesome. I mean, a little extra ingenuity, and that's definitely not on the instructions how to make all that stuff work, but we went through and made it happen.
All right. Well, Sean, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks a lot for you guys' help. I appreciate working the overtime, getting this ready for invasion.
Absolutely.
And I'll be sure we come back and see you again when we get more stuff done.
Can't wait.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.